Welcome back, everybody, to Esoteric Ramblings with Jesse Arnold. I'm just here to bring you this week's comic book haul. It's a couple days late, but here it is. First up this week, we've got Lords of Empire, Swordsman #1. This is a great tie-in to the Empire event going on right now. If you don't know much about Swordsman, you definitely want to check this out to see how he fits into the story. Next up is Captain Marvel 20, another Empire tie-in, followed by Empire X-Men #4, the final issue in that X-Men miniseries for Empire. Next we have A Man Among Ye #2, great pirate comic from Image and Top Cow. Aquaman 62, focusing on Aqualad and Black Manta this week, pretty good issue. Avengers 35, Age of Khonshu Part 3. If you are a fan of Moon Knight, you should definitely be reading this storyline. Cable #3, with art by the incredible Phil Noto. Awesome book. Captain America #22 from Ta-Nehisi Coates and crew. Great Captain America story going on here. Excalibur 11, it's got my girl Rogue in here, Jubilee on the cover, fun series. The final issue of the current Harley Quinn series, #75, has her facing off with Punchline. Art by the amazing Frank Cho. I'll be completely honest, his art on the covers is the only reason I've been getting this series. Bonus for me at some point on a snowy winter's day this year, maybe I'll go back and read through this storyline at some point. But there you go. Low #25 as we approach the end of this epic series from Rick Remender and crew. Once and Future #10, an awesome King Arthur series. Star featuring Captain Marvel's newest nemesis, Star, her second to last issue in her miniseries. Transformers 22, the Rise of the Decepticons storyline. This has been a lot of fun. Another final issue, Valkyrie, Jane Foster #10 from Jason Aaron and company. This has been a lot of fun. Sad to see this book go, but it has gone out on a great issue. Next up is Wolverine #4, where Wolverine squares off against his old nemesis, Omega Red. Definitely want to check that out. And last but not least, Wonder Woman Annual #4. And that's it. That's my rundown for the week of all the titles I have pulled on my subscription. And now I'm going to transition into my top 5 books for the week. And I'm going to throw in an honorable mention to start things off here. But I do want to say that the books that make it onto the top 5 list are books that had moments or art or lines or something that just stood out the most to me. It's not necessarily that any of the other books are not as good, they're just the ones that stood out to me the most. And since opinions and tastes are very subjective, that's why I'm picking these. So if you had books you like this week you want to talk about, go ahead, hit me up in the messages down below and we'll chat about it. But here we go. So honorable mention, Lords of Empire, Swordsman #1. It is a one-shot. This is tying into, of course, the Empire event going on at Marvel right now. And like their last major event, War of the Realms, this has been a solid event from Marvel. All the books seem to be coming out pretty quick, on time. They flow really well together. And like with War of the Realms, if you don't want to read the tie-ins and other issues, you don't have to. They very focus on the characters or teams that those books are involved in. And it's interesting to see those things, but you don't have to read them to get the main event. But I would highly recommend everything in in Empire has been very good so far. So can't wait to see how that wraps up pretty soon. And that's the honorable mention this week. And now my top 5, starting with Image Top Cows, A Man Among Ye issue 2. I really enjoyed the first issue of this back at late May, early June when it came out. I was glad that this finally came in, and it has been fun in these first 2 issues, seeing a pirate tale about Anne Bonny and the pirate life. So I've loved pirate stuff back to my younger days when I would watch Errol Flynn and other swashbuckling movies with my folks, and then into my Lego pirate sets and all that as a kid, and of course the Pirates of the Caribbean not too long ago. So yeah, I really like pirate stuff. Can I say pirates a few more times? Yeah, it's pirates are it's a genre that I am very picky about. If it's too cliche, too hokey, too whatever, it turns me off very quickly. Or if it's too niche, too specific about certain things, or if it feels almost preachy about its history. Not saying that I've read many like that, but as far as comics go. But this has been a lot of fun. So A Man Among Ye is pretty good from Imogen Top Cow. Check your local shop to see if they have it, and get signed up for that. Up next is Low 24. This has been an epic series from Rick Remender, Greg Tocchini, and Dave McCaig. It is a beautiful book and a heartbreaking tale of this family in the distant future where human civilization has moved underwater because we could no longer sustain life on the surface, and just they're running out of oxygen in the cities. And this mother and her children, it's the saga of this mother and her husband and her children as they try to find a better way to live for their family. And it's Rick Remender's story about hope, which hope is a very important theme in my life. And man, this is not for the faint of heart, or a cheesy direct-to-TV movie about hope. It is hardcore, rake these characters through the mud over hot coals, yeah, so it has been a brutal, heartbreaking, beautiful, amazing story, and I cannot wait to see how it ends in a couple of months when the final issues come out. So Low 24 is out. Next up is IDW's Transformers issue 22, part of the Rise of the Decepticons storyline. I never read Transformers comics before. I read some in the early 2000s from the Dreamwave series, and I didn't quite know where that fit in Transformers universe wise. I didn't read really any of the Marvel stuff when I was a kid, but I grew up on the cartoon, the animated movie, and I of course have seen the live action ones recently. But IDW has been killing it with the Ninja Turtles book, so I was like, all right, I'm going to give a shot with this Transformers, and it's been really cool. It's been a lot of fun. It's set on Cybertron before the Decepticons are even a thing, so the Rise of the Decepticons is kind of how they develop there, which for me is a new story. We've heard different things over the years, but getting to read it play out is a lot of fun. And there's some really great moments for Bumblebee in this book, so if you're a fan of Bumblebee, definitely check out number 22. Number 2, Boom Studios, Once and Future, number 10, from Kieran Gillen, Dan Mora, and Tamara Bonvillain. This is another gorgeous book. I'm a sucker for sword and sorcery fantasy stories, King Arthur. I'm not going to say I have academic knowledge of the King Arthur legend, but I've read a couple different books over the years and different storylines, different interpretations. And so this is playing off the Once and Future King title, obviously, issue 10. And it's been a lot of fun seeing how they've expanded this story from what its original miniseries was supposed to be. And I'm loving it. Dan Mora is killing it on the artwork. Lots of fun humor for as a dark a tale as this is. If you could see that cover is pretty brutal. But it's a lot of fun. I really recommend this book. And last but not least, if you've seen any of my other videos on this channel, you know that this is the book that features my favorite comic book character of all time, Rogue, at the moment. Excalibur. Never really read the old series, a couple issues here and there, but never really followed it. But it is my favorite thing to come out of the House of X Powers of 10 series, and they're definitely sowing the seeds for the 10 of Swords X-Men crossover, and it's going to be a classic X-Men crossover event between all the titles, with a couple of one-shots to kick it off and wrap it up. So Excalibur is following Rogue, Jubilee, Gambit, Apocalypse, Richter, and who else is in here? Captain Britain, formerly Psylocke, Betsy Braddock. She is back to her original body and has taken over the role of Captain Britain at the beginning of this series. So the cool thing about Excalibur is, A, it's got Rogue in it, so it's automatically going to be one of my favorite books. But the writer, I really enjoy the way they've been writing this series, the way the characters interact with each other. Of course, you know, Rogue gets some pages to shine in every book, and I'm really enjoying what they're doing there. But again, it captures sword and sorcery and mixes it with my favorite comic book characters, the X-Men, and it's really cool. This definitely lays a lot of groundwork, this issue, for the Ten of Swords coming up. And it's got some great moments. I love how the X-Men kind of all have, in this book, have kind of their own like fantasy adventure garb type thing going on. So I don't want to show it inside. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't read it yet. So yeah, so it's like playful iterations of their classic costumes, or different interpretations, which is a lot of fun. And Jubilee a couple years ago adopted a baby. And some interesting things have been happening with her baby. Shogo is his name, since they've crossed into the other world, where all the fantasy stuff is happening. So there it is. My top 5: Excalibur number 11, Once and Future number 10, Transformers 22, Low 24, and A Man Among Ye number 2. So those are my top 5 for the week. And that's it. I guess I'll wrap it up there. If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and hit me up in the messages down below. Like, subscribe, all that jazz if you want. And I'll see you next time with another video. You know, hopefully I'll get my comic review in on time this week. And we'll see what else is going on. But that's it. Thanks for listening to my ramble.